very nice to meet everyone. I'm just filling in for Ashley today. Sending lots of love to you, Ashley. And again, like I said, we're going to give ourselves about 5 minutes here to make sure that we're getting all of the things together and adjusting ourselves so that way we're able to incorporate a chair, even if that's our couch or a love seat of some sort, some pillows, a couple of pillows that maybe might come together to be about the same stiffness slash size as a bolster, a blanket or so, a really nice little Afghan would be beneficial. So whenever you're ready, just take your time and just kind of start to try to settle into your breath here. Maybe inhaling for the count to 4, maybe exhaling for the count to 4. Maybe feeling the breath move up and down the spine. And as we're moving to poses, just a little reminder here is how we're going to be hanging out in these poses for roughly 6 to 7 minutes each. So remind yourself to be as gentle as you need to be and to relax as much as possible, because this is all about you. That's what restorative is all about. So whenever we're ready, just take your time. Get everything nice and close by. And just another little reminder here, yoga should never be painful. A little discomfort's okay, but in restorative we want to feel as comfortable as possible. You shouldn't feel any pain whatsoever, and if at any time you are feeling any pain, make any adjustments you need to. Just a little disclaimer here, Living Balance Studios, nor myself, Kyle Jackson, is responsible for any injury that might happen. So just take care of yourself here and enjoy your practice today. So whenever we're ready, we're going to start out with using our chair here. So again, maybe our couch, maybe a fold-up chair like I have. And we're just going to start to turn into our chair here. If you can, extend the legs underneath your couch or chair. Be careful whenever you're reaching underneath the couch if you haven't cleaned under there in a while. And then just taking our time here, bring in a pillow or a blanket and resting it on the seat here and adjusting the height so it feels pretty comfortable here. And we want it where we're starting in an L shape and then we're gently and slowly, as we exhale, just start to relax into this and rest our forehead on our arms or our palms. Now, since this is restorative, I'd like to continue talking to you, so I may not do all of the poses with you, and I still want you to be able to hear me. So whenever we're ready, just taking our time, nice and slow, as we exhale, hinging from the hips and releasing our foreheads to meet our arms. And reminding yourself that if you can't really get your legs underneath your couch, you can always just bring them into easy seated here. And just breathe. Take Taking deep breaths in, long breaths out. Letting go of your day, letting go of your week, maybe even letting go of your year. And maybe feel the muscles in the neck start to relax. Maybe feel the spaces in between our shoulder blade start to open and release. Maybe start to feel that relaxation move all the way down the spine. So for the remainder of this pose, we'll just continue to be still in mind, still in heart, and still in thought. You don't have to do anything other than continue the movement that you're in. Continue the stationary position that you are in. I promise I will let you know whenever we're moving. Whenever we're ready, nice and slow, just starting to walk ourselves back up from that position. And then we're just going to take our time and find a little bit of movement here for our lower back. So resting our hands on our knees, coming into that easy seated if we're not already there, and then gently and slowly just starting to rock through the hips, drawing circles with the tops of our heads on the ceiling. And whenever we're ready, nice and slow, just reversing our rotation. So whenever we're ready, nice and slow, coming on back to center. And then just coming around to the front of our chair or our couch, even a bed. And then we're just going to start to take our time, well, depending on how high your bed is. You could also use the pillows here to stack the pillows to the height that you need. And you're going to find out in just a second what height feels good to you. So we're just going to take our time with our hands supporting our lower back, and we're just going to start to bring the legs up onto the cushion of our couch or into our fold-up chair, keeping our blankets and our pillows close by in case we need them. And then gently and slowly, just start to release ourselves back down to the mat. Taking our time here, maybe scooting our glutes up a little bit closer to our chair. So we're trying to find almost a 90-degree angle here from our knees to our hip. A nice straight line. So a 90 in the knees maybe. And finding the upper body at about a 90-degree angle. Maybe just allowing the arms to open up a little bit here. Maybe gently shaking our heads no. And then whenever we're ready, just finding stillness and maybe gently closing our eyes, releasing the eyebrows, allowing a little bit of space between the teeth, maybe allowing our tongue to fall away from the roof of the mouth. And just start to relax here. You may notice that the knees start to slip away a little bit. If you're using a hard surface, that's okay. Just allow yourself to be as comfortable as possible, maybe moving the legs a little bit if we need to. And again, remember, we're gonna be here for about 5 to 6 minutes. So finding comfort through this pose. If we need to, we can also use a blanket and support the lower back here if that feels better to us, especially if maybe that our sits bone or our coccyx doesn't feel too good. You can pad that area. But either way, we're just trying to find comfort here. And again, maybe just gently close the eyes. And reminding ourselves that if we have thoughts, it's okay. We can just acknowledge them and just let them gently slip away, because we can always pick them up whenever we're done with our practice today. And just taking our time, whenever we're ready, nice and slow. Just start to bring the knees in towards the chest, maybe reaching behind those knees. We can pull those blankets out from underneath our sacrum, our tailbone. And with those knees in towards the chest, maybe just gently rocking to the left and to the right. Giving ourselves that little bit of a back massage here. And then whenever we're ready, taking our time and just turning on to our left side here. I'm going to be turning on to my right so I can still face the camera. And while we're here on our left side, just take an extra breath or so to try to let go of those things that no longer serves us. to let go of those things that maybe we just can't do anything about. Letting the blood flow back to the legs. And whenever we're ready, taking our time and planting that right hand and just gently pushing up through the right hand. So we're coming back into a neutral spine. Remembering our palms are stacked below the shoulders, knees stacked directly below the hips. And maybe just flow on a few more cats and cows here. Inhale, belly drops. Heart opens as we gaze forward. Exhale, rounding out the spine. Pulling the belly button in and up for that cat. And just flowing this however it feels good. Whenever we're ready, coming on back into that center and just taking our time and just spinning everything on around so that we're facing back towards our couch. And this time, whenever we're ready, planting the hands, we're just going to bring our right foot up, and if we can, slip that left leg underneath the chair. And if this feels really good and you don't feel like you have too much pressure on the wrist or the arms, you can stay right here. If you have something else that can support you back here, that would be great if this feels good. If you'd like, you can start to take it all the way down to the mat. You might have to adjust the leg a little bit so that way it feels comfortable. If you're feeling any pressure in the knee here, you can start to stack the blocks or your books. Blankets, pillows, whatever helps. And again, we're just closing the eyes here, gently releasing through the legs and hips. Just another breath or two. And whenever we're ready this time, just taking our time, bringing that right knee in towards the chest. We can gently rotate that right ankle if we'd like. Both directions. And whenever we're ready, we're just going to make some adjustments so that way we can duplicate what we just did, only this time on the other side. So it might take a little bit of adjusting to get there, but I'm sure you're doing perfect. Switching sides out. And rediscovering your breath as you settle back into the mat, feeling the legs begin to relax, the hips begin to relax. Well, maybe. And just know that in this moment, you are exactly where you're supposed to be. There's nothing else you need to do at this moment other than just be who you are right now. And whenever we're ready, nice and slow, inhale, bringing the left knee in towards the chest. And again, maybe just gently rotating that left ankle this time. Both directions. If you start to hear any grinding or popping, maybe slow the motion down a little bit more. And whenever we're ready, just taking our time, moving our blocks out of the way real quick. You can just kind of push them over with your feet. And then turn onto the left side again. We're going to push ourselves back up whenever we're ready. So that way we can set ourselves up for our next position. Now, for our next couple of positions, it's important to really listen to the back here to decide if it feels good or does not. So we're moving into our final positions here. Before we go into Shavasana, I'm just moving my chair out of the way. We won't need a chair, so if you have to adjust your mat a little bit so that way you can extend your legs out, that might be a good idea to do. So that way we can finally finish getting as relaxed as possible here. And we're going to do a little heart opener if you're okay with it. And we're just going to roll up a blanket, depending on how your blanket is. It might take a little more, a little less. And we're just going to line it up so that way our blanket is supporting our whole spine here, including this part of our neck. If for some reason our head is not supported, or we're kind of like having to lean back like this to make sure that our head is supported, just go ahead and put you a block back there to support your head. This is more of a chest opener than we are trying to overextend anything. So whenever we're ready, just place a bend in our knees, resting the hands on our mat, and just gently start to roll ourselves down onto our blanket, and then resting our body here, making any adjustments we need to be as comfortable as possible, maybe feeling the chest open, maybe feeling a little bit of a muscle stretch right here by the shoulders, right above the pecs. And just breathe. Allow those arms to open up if we choose. The elbows are supported by our floor. And if at any time this position gets uncomfortable, it's okay. We can just take everything out from underneath us, leaving our knees nice and bent. Or you could turn onto your left side if you'd like. But either way, just relaxing through the body, feeling those spaces open. just taking our time, just adjusting our torso so that we were able to get this blanket out from underneath us. We won't need that block underneath our head right now. And with our hands next to our side and our soles of our feet up on the mat, knees nice and bent, we can just start to walk our feet to the outside edges of our mat. And as we exhale, just allowing those knees to fall or move to the left. And as we inhale, feeling the knees come up towards the ceiling or the sky. And as we exhale, allowing the knees to come down to the mat or the ground. In making these movements intentional and with our breath, feeling those knees rise and fall in kind of a windshield wiper type movement. And whenever we're ready, nice and slow, inhale, bringing the knees on back to center. And just looking for our blocks or our bolsters here. And just taking our time here with our blocks or books, we're going to put them at their highest setting here. Bringing the soles of our feet together, and then allow the knees to kind of open up here. You might have to adjust your blocks a little bit to make sure that they're supporting the knees here. Just continue to breathe. If you feel a little uncomfortable or a little bit too vulnerable, we can always put a blanket wherever we're feeling not quite that safe or confident or whatever you choose to say. You can cover the arms, kind of tucking yourself in. Nothing that we need to do other than just to continue to breathe. Allowing spaces to open wherever the body's asking for it. Gently, calmly, not forcing anything. Just allowing things to happen. And if your body is deciding that we're not really feeling anything at all, and we would really like just a little bit more of a stretch in the insides of our legs, we can gently flip our blocks or our books to the next setting. And if we start to feel too much of a pull inside of the legs, maybe bringing it back to that position before. And if you choose, you can open the arms. Again, allowing the palms to rest towards the ceiling. Or we can place a hand on our heart and a hand on our belly to do our best to stay connected with our heartbeat and our best to stay connected with our breath. Reminding yourself to relax through the shoulders, creating space between the shoulders and the ears. Maybe feeling the upper back start to kind of melt into the mat if it's not already there. Maybe feeling that neck release. And if we need to, we can gently shake the head no here. And whenever we're ready, just coming back to ourselves in case we got a little lost there, and just bringing our hands to the outsides of the knees and just helping the knees come closed. And then taking our time, allowing the legs to go nice and long. So we can stretch anything out, we can move any muscles here. If you feel like you need some additional stretching here to be as comfortable as possible, lying flat on our back for the remainder of class, for our final relaxation or shavasana, we can do any of these modifications we might need, like if we're feeling some pressure in the lower back from lying flat on the back, we can always support the knees a little bit with blocks or bolsters if you have them handy. You can also go back to the couch again and elevate those knees and legs. Whatever makes you feel comfortable here, this is all about you. So even if that means that you would like to turn around on your belly with your arms up, you can do that as well. If you want to lay on your side because that feels really good to you, it is all about you. Find whatever feels comfortable to you and just maybe close the eyes gently and start to kind of feel all the spaces in our face that maybe might be holding tension. Releasing in our jaw. If we choose, we can kind of gently rock it from side to side. Maybe allow the tongue to relax. Maybe relaxing the shoulders while we're lying on our backs. Maybe relaxing in the biceps and the triceps. Maybe relaxing in our throat. Letting go of anything that we wish we would have said today. Releasing in the neck, not worrying about which direction or path to turn to next. Taking time to maybe brush off anything that maybe we've been carrying there on our shoulders. Relaxing down the arms and through the fingertips. Allowing them to curl naturally if they choose. And maybe releasing down the spine, one vertebrae at a time. Maybe releasing through the hips. Maybe releasing down the legs, the quads, the hamstrings, behind the knees, through the calves and shins. Maybe releasing around the ankles, the heels of our feet, the arches of our feet, and letting go in our toes. Knowing that for the next little bit, we have made it to our destination, and we don't have to travel any further. As we slowly flow into that final relaxation, just know that our hearts know how to beat and our bodies know how to breathe. And for the remainder of class, that is all that we need to do, is just allow ourselves to be. Nothing to do, nothing to say, nothing to think. Just allowing ourselves to exist. slowly coming back to awareness. Maybe wiggling our fingers, maybe wiggling our toes, maybe deepening our breath a bit, maybe stretching a little if we choose. And just taking our time, and whenever we're ready, and only whenever we're ready, turning on to our left side. Our left side is our healing side, and we can use this side to remind ourselves to let go. To let go of what no longer serves us. To let go of those things that maybe we just can't do anything about. And reminding ourselves that we are enough. That we do enough. And we say enough. So just leaving whatever we need to right here, right now on our mats, and pushing ourselves up and meeting in our easy seated. So whenever we're ready, just taking our time, nice and slow, inhaling our hands on up, hands together, hands heart center. Thank you so much for allowing me to be part of your yoga journey, and I am so happy that you're a part of mine. Namaste.